As the owner of a European road freight company, we rely on the free movement of goods within Europe and a strong pound to keep our haulage costs down. So the 24th of June was a very grim day for me and my staff, and for the majority of people, I think, working in our industry. I feel a bit more positive now, but I couldn't have felt any worse than I did that day. We've weathered 5 difficult months, and we still hit our targets, but I know there are tough times ahead. Our customers have told us that they've been getting more inquiries from their European customers and from new prospective customers who they've been speaking to. Some small increases in export business with a lot of quotes being sent out, and they're just waiting now for them to turn into business for them. In the 5 months since Brexit, we've seen approximately 7% increase in export shipments that we're handling compared to the 5 months before Brexit. There's been a very small fall in import shipment numbers for us, but we're predominantly an export-driven company, so that's not surprising. As we pay for over half our purchase ledger is now in euros, half our suppliers we're paying in euros, so we've seen our haulage costs, unfortunately, dramatically rise by about 10%, due predominantly to the value of the pound dropping by 10%. We hedged our currency right before Brexit, but pretty much now we've used up all our pre-bought currency. Many forwarders didn't do this and didn't hedge. Within a few weeks, we have many companies with currency adjustment factors in place. We've currently got a wide range of currency adjustment factors from regular suppliers of somewhere between 6, 8 and 10%. Even though we hedged our currency pretty well, our gross margin still drops now by over 3% as a result of the weak pound. We've been speaking to some of our customers to see if they can now pay us in euros. A few have agreed, but most don't really want to pay in euros. They don't hold an excess of euros each month, so they've asked us to continue to invoice them in sterling. We're now also speaking to some of our customers to try to enter a currency adjustment factor to make up for the 10% reduction in the pound. Most are sympathetic, but unfortunately a few, it doesn't stop them from going out to the market and looking for cheaper solutions, which isn't great for us. It's even worse for our import customers. Their goods are costing them roughly 10% more now to import into the UK. And now we're also asking them for increases of approximately 6 to 10% on top of the raw material costs for extra import costs. Import charges are approximately double or triple the cost of the export. So these charges can mount up into hundreds of pounds per import full load. Espace and our competitors were all in the same boat really. Companies will still need to get their goods to and from Europe by road. If we lose the free movement of goods, we're all going to be bogged down again in customs issues, potentially slowing down the delivery of our customers' freight. I'm concerned about the effect that the triggering of Article 50 will have on the industry. We've had nearly 24 years of free movement of goods across Europe's border. No customs clearance, no waiting at border posts. Many European supply chains have now been geared up to work in this fashion and on a just-in-time basis. As I said, drivers haven't had to stop for long periods of time at border crossings and customs agents in queues of trucks. Many exporters and importers now just hold emergency stock. What they need to keep their production lines going is effectively arriving on the back of our trailers, and it arrives when they need it. We could pretty much guarantee that our trailers would arrive when they needed them to arrive. Now, in my business, 25% of the freight we carry is time critical freight, European time critical freight. So if we're forced to revert to how it used to be, with all goods needing customs clearance, there's no way we can provide any guarantees anymore on deliveries. We'll effectively be in the hands of the customs agents and the border officials as to when our vehicles are released by them. Also, I am particularly worried about the pound and its volatility. Its volatility is a real problem in our industry. with growing concerns too about what might happen when Article 50 is triggered, and doesn't seem to be any clear plan yet 5 months on for Brexit. I can only see the pound plummeting in value. And I know what will happen then. Freight rates will shoot up again, as they have recently. Customers who once valued service over price may be forced to look at it again and start buying on price only now, and cutting out companies like Espace who sell on value-added services. The biggest companies in our industry have the biggest buying power, and they'll probably be at a considerable advantage if rate sensitivity becomes a real issue for importers and exporters.